She may have grown up, but Alice isn't done with Wonderland yet. Tim Burton's giving Lewis Carroll's classic tale an eerie makeover, and as with all blockbuster films, a video game is on the way. I've come for an exclusive preview to see just how deep the rabbit hole goes.
We had an opportunity to try and do something different. We wanted to do something different. It's a really cool property. You know, the stories are great stories. There's a group of really interesting characters, really strange, curious, peculiar creatures that inhabit this place. And early on, in fact right at the start, we said there was an opportunity whereby the obvious thing to do would probably be to put the player in control of Alice and have her jumping around a garden. We looked at the other characters, you know, and some of the things about them, the White Rabbit, the time piece and his obsession with time, and allowing him to control and manipulate time, and kind of take it from there really. So I'll jump into the game and just show you some examples of that. Here's a really simple example with the rabbit. I need to get to the other side of this chamber. I can trigger the rabbit, shake my Wiimote round, and freeze time. And you know, with the abilities, what we do is when we introduce a new character, so the player forms up this team of characters over a period of time, sort of around 2/3 of the game, they build up this team of 5 characters you can hot swap between. We do the classic thing, introduce a character, introduce a really simple scenario whereby you use their ability, make that a more complex ability, and then start layering it with the characters that you've already got. So again, here's some knives and forks in a cutlery cabinet. I can flick out using the Wiimote and form up a quite peculiar looking ladder.
Alice, you're terribly late, you know, naughty.
Moving on to the Mad Hatter, there wasn't a natural fit for the Mad Hatter in terms of kind of abilities. So we kind of tried to think about things, you know, the Mad Hatter, yes, mad he might be, but maybe it's just because he sees things in a very different way within the world. So again, I can get onto these Hatter podiums, which allow me to see things from a very unique perspective, and that's the Hatter's perspective, which I'm able to use the Wiimote to kind of move. I'm just sort of going to the extreme so you can kind of see what I'm doing here, but move these objects around, manipulate the viewpoint until I get to a position where they form up an object, and then when they form up an object, it's Wonderland, World of Illusion, the object forms up and it's real. And the Hatter's one is my favourite. We had a lot of fun working on this. It took a long time to get it right. But what he's able to do is kind of use his hand to squish people. And then you can just finish them off. He squishes all the armour off. We identified very early on the platforms that we wanted to build the game out on. You know, we look at trying to create very specific games for specific platforms. You know, we've got 2 very different games, the DS version and the Wii version, created specifically for those platforms. And really, as far as 3D goes and creating, you know, creating the depth to the world that we wanted to create with the Wii, and getting us close to the look of the movie, creating this really rich environment, it just wasn't going to work from a 3D point of view and delivering that in a 3D form. So I think first and foremost we wanted to go for, this is a game, and keep the look the same, and we weren't able to do that with 3D. I mean, I think there's some interesting stuff in there. Had we had the ability to do that in 3D with some of the Hatter perspective and manipulating the objects and things like that, I think they would have worked really well in 3D, and even some of the combat sequences. So there's definitely some stuff there, maybe Alice in Wonderland too.
Who are you?
Alice. So clearly Disney haven't fallen into the obvious trap of using gimmicky 3D, instead focusing their looking glass on strong gameplay and a distinctive look, adding a different kind of third dimension to the experience.